Welcome to Virtual Guru, where barbecue and grilling is made tasty. So today we're going to do some ribs, and we're going to do them several different ways. And I'll put a link up above. I typically do the 3-2-1 method. That they just come out rock solid, and been doing that for a really long time. So if you want to check that out, check those out. That's one way to do it. So you're actually going to see 4 different renditions, including that video. 3 here because I got 3 racks. So these are just kind of different ways to do stuff. And if you like this type of content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Really appreciate it. So the first one we're going to do is just straight simple. And it's just going to be, we're just going to put rib rub on it. And this one's a kick butt rib rub that's chili lime that my daughter picked out over the weekend because she likes the taste of that. So that's going to be our base rub for all the ribs that we do. So that'll be what we do with it. This first one, we're gonna season it and set it overnight, and then smoke it along with the other ones. And so we're just gonna see how that goes. The kids have tended to like that type of style with different types of ribs. So real simple and easy. And so we'll see how that one turns out. And then the second method that we're gonna use is we're actually gonna inject it with. I used a couple tablespoons of the rib rub and some apple juice. And then I've got an injector, and so we'll show you how to do an injection. And so we'll put the rub on it too. We'll inject it, put the rub on it, and then kind of see how that one turns out. And then the third one, we're going to do it very similar to the 3-2-1 style that I've done, but with foil. And this time I'm going to use butcher paper to kind of see the difference. I've seen people do it. I have not done that yet, so we're going to kind of see how that works. So we're going to have basically, including the other video that I mentioned, with the traditional 3-2-1, we're going to have 4 different versions of ribs for you to kind of choose from, and then we'll do a taste test of all of them at the end and kind of see which ones are our favorite, what we like, and what we might do different the next time, or what we'd recommend. So anyways, with that, I'll get the seasoning this up, and I'll show you the process for the injection, and then what we're going to do with the other one as well. Alright, so we're all seasoned up, and with this one, that's all we're going to do, and we're going to move on to the next one. I should mention, this rib rub isn't too salty, so I tasted it ahead of time, and so I'm going to be pretty liberal with it. And then I'm going to kind of massage it in the meat here in a little bit too, but should be good to go. And I'm going to set these in the refrigerator in an open container overnight, and that's kind of how I do it. So, you could probably do it a minimum. I mean, I wouldn't do anything less than 2 hours. Probably recommend 4 hours, but the more time, the better as far as like overnight goes and stuff like that. And then it'll probably be about a 6-hour cook tomorrow, give or take, depending on how things are performing. So we'll get this guy put up, and I'll start showing you how we're going to do the injection. All right, so for the second rack, I rubbed it up just like I did the first one, just to rub straight on it. And then, like I said, I've got some apple juice, and I put a couple tablespoons of the rub in the apple juice. And so all we're going to do is we're going to inject in between the bones. So we'll go down in the meat from the thicker side where it's cut, and just down in between there, and just kind of, when you push it in, you just kind of pull it out. And we'll have fluid that comes out and leaks out and stuff like that. But what we're really doing here is we're getting seasoning all the way into the meat itself. And so, this works with any type of rub that you want to do, or any type of seasonings. You could do, half apple juice, half water, or whatever else you want to do, and add in any types of flavors or seasonings that kind of go with the ribs. But it's just kind of a nice way to get some more flavor down into the meat itself with the seasoning. And then at the same token, we'll see about if it makes it any more juicy or not when we cook it. Again, we'll be able to compare it against the other rack where we're not injecting or doing any other stuff, or wrapping or anything like that. And this one we're not going to wrap either. We're going to wrap the other one, so we'll kind of do a real comparison of 3 different methods plus the 4th that we've already done and shown. So with that, like I said, you just get this full of your juices there, and just pick it up on its side like this, and just feel in between those bones, and then just kind of go down in there and get yourself a nice little pocket, and then just kind of inject as you come up, and you'll actually see the meat swell a little bit. So, and then like I said, some of that will come out as you come out, but that's what we want to do. So we'll just inject it, and then we'll let this rest overnight as well. so we're getting injected, and I'm gonna add this in, and now we'll work on the other set of rack. And notice I kind of set that up with where I went in with the injection. I'm kind of setting it upright, and that'll help make sure those juices come in, because that will actually kind of seal overnight and let that kind of sit in there. I'll lay it down a little bit to kind of get it evened out, but you know, we should be good to go. Alright, so for our third and final rack, this one's going to get the royal treatment. I've got about a cup of mustard, give or take, quarter cup of apple juice, and about a tablespoon or so of Worcestershire. And so I'm going to mix that together. That's going to become the base that goes on the ribs themselves, and then I'll put the rub on top of that. I'm starting it on this side because this one, since I'm putting it this way, I just want to do it all at once, and I don't want to have to be flipping and messing around with it too much, and so I don't care as much about the bottom side as I do the top side. And then those will go in the fridge tonight, and then we'll get started tomorrow with our cooking process. Alright, they're all ready for the refrigerator, so we'll take them out in the morning, and we're going to smoke them for about 3 hours at 180, and then I'll turn up the temp to about 225. At that point, we'll actually wrap this set of ribs and not the other ones, and then we'll cook that for 2 hours there. Unwrap it, we'll put some barbecue sauce on this one, and we're just going to, after the 3 hours and the 2 hours, we'll probably start putting just spraying some apple juice on these guys just to kind of keep them a bit moist. But this one will get the barbecue sauce on it, so we'll get a real good idea between the injection, just dry rub, and then this particular method as well. So looking forward to it. Alright, so we've got the drone going, getting a little different view so you can see it. We'll do some close-ups of the food here in a minute, so kind of fun. But I let them set overnight, took them out for about an hour so they can get kind of the room temperature. We've got just our rubbed ribs, we've got our injected ribs, and then we've got our full treatment with the mustard, Worcestershire, apple juice, and then rubbed on there. So we'll see what we do with, we'll do these for 3 hours at 180 on smoke, and then we'll turn it up to 225. We'll basically wrap one of them with some brown sugar and honey, and then the others we'll just start spritzing at that time, and then we'll see where we're at. Probably do another hour after that, so looking pretty good. Alright, so we've had we've been smoking at 180 for 3 hours, and I just left the other 2 racks on the smoker. And I'm going to put some brown sugar and some honey on this, and then I'm going to roll it up like a burrito and wrap it. And this is that pink butcher paper that you hear about online, and I've got a link here for this, a lot of other stuff that I have too, but for this if you want it on Amazon. So, but it works really good. I haven't done it with ribs yet. You know, I usually use foil, and I'm used to doing that with the 3-2-1 style, but I want to give this a try because I know a lot of folks, have done it and say they really like it. So I'll give it a whirl, see how it does. But anyways, we're gonna do that, and then I'm gonna start spraying some apple juice a little bit on the other ones to make sure that they kind of tack up a little bit and don't dry out and that kind of stuff. But man, these are smelling and looking really good after that first 3 hours. So I'll get to fixing this up, and then we'll throw it on the grill, and we'll do that. We'll turn up the temp to about 225, and then we'll take a look at it at that point. Then I'll open this one back up. I'll put some barbecue sauce on it, and then cook it for probably about another 30 minutes to an hour, and we should be done, and we'll see how we did with all the different styles of ribs. so we're good and wrapped, and we'll throw this on and see how it works. Alright, so we had these on for another 2 hours, wrapped. We'll unwrap it, see what we got, and then we're actually going to put some Thai chili tamarind, which is a barbecue sauce that I really like and our family really likes. It kind of goes with the whole concept of the chili lime rub we used. And so we'll just put a real light coat on this one, put it back on, and it'll probably be somewhere between 30 to 45 minutes is what I'm thinking. The other ones are coming along really nicely and they look good. I've been spraying them every 20-30 minutes or so with some just apple juice to just kind of keep them, get a nice glaze on them and just kind of keep some moisture in there. But man, they look and smell delicious. So let's see what we got with this guy. Ooh, look at that. That was a lot of goodness right there. So that put a really nice bark on this, and I hadn't done it with the butcher paper before, but boy, that really looks good, smells good. I could tell it started to tighten up and pull the meat away from the bones there, so some of the ribs are exposed. So we'll sauce this up and then put it back on the grill. But boy, that's looking really, really, really good. Okay, so we'll get this one back on the grill and let it tighten up here, and then we'll take them off and we'll do a little taste off and see which ones see which ones we like the best, or the different flavors and how each one tastes. All right, time to see how this stuff all came out. I put them on for about 35-40 minutes extra to let that kind of firm up, and looks like it turned out great. I cut from the center of each one of the ribs, so like I said, just the dry rub guy, and then the injected one, and then our full treatment to the other one, including being wrapped with the butcher paper. So I'm gonna take a bite of each one and kind of get a feel for how they turned out, and what I would do different or the same, or see what we got. That is really tasty. I mean, that's as easy as it gets to do that. And that was on for just about 6.5 hours or so, almost 7, and that just tastes excellent. I mean, that would go good. That's an excellent rib just by itself. So let's try our injected one. And I made sure I had actually marked a spot to make sure I got in an area where I had injected, where I know there'll be some some of the seasoning down in there, so that I can get kind of an idea on that, see if it makes a difference or not. It's interesting. Has more flavor in the meat. So I think the juicy, I don't think you could say the other one's any more juicy. But what I would say is that you can taste the seasoning flavor down in the meat, not just in the bark. And so that's interesting. So I think the injection side of it, as long as you season it, makes a difference. I mean, it's not a huge difference, but I can taste it. So that's interesting. That's excellent. So let's try the basically the 3-2-1 equivalent, but using the butcher paper. I can't tell you how many times I've done the ones with the foil, so we'll give this a try and see if the bark's any different, flavor's any different. Wow. These are my favorite. You add in some of that extra goodness, but the bark on the top and the flavor seems to be more on this than when you use foil. And I think, I love the other ones, but I think with the foil, I think you steam it so much that you kind of lose some of that, where with this, it allows some of that steam to escape. And I mean, it is tender, juicy, flavorful, and these just pull from the bone. Technically, everyone says they want fall off the rib bones, and you don't. That means they're overcooked. These ones pull from the bone. They've got a nice smoke ring on there. These are outstanding. So if you like this type of content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Really appreciate you watching, and thanks for helping us out here. Those are ridiculously good. All of them are good. Yeah. I like that better than the aluminum foil. It's better. Different.